Welcome to the Audiobook Lovin Podcast, discussing all things audiobooks with the authors that write the stories and the narrators that perform them. Brought to you by Viviana, Enchantress of Books.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Audiobook Lovin Podcast, where we celebrate the storytellers behind the stories. From authors to narrators, we're diving into all things romance and the voices that bring them to life. I'm your host, Viviana, Enchantress of Books, and today I am chatting with narrator Hector Carrillo. So let's jump on in. Welcome, Hector. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to chat with you. We're always having these fun little chats or sending each other memes online, and I'm like, I haven't had him on the show. Hell.
There's so many good memes, though.
There are, especially from a cultural perspective. I love a good chancla one every once in a while.
Right? Those are some of my faves.
Exactly. Yeah. So, guys, also for the listeners, if at any point in time we turn into having something in Spanish because of our, multilingual, bilingualness and stuff like that, don't worry. We'll tell you what we're talking about. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But it's not too secretive,
Yeah, right?
Nothing por la raza,
Exactly. But we're going to start, as we usually do. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been narrating and how you got started.
Okay. Well, I've always been an artist, and if you're familiar with the term starving artist, that kind of is why I got not so into the depths of art. I've always loved drawing and creating and everything ever since I was little. And I actually went to art school. I got a half tuition scholarship to go to the Art Institute in Chicago. So I went there, and that was fun. I went for media arts and animation. And so doing movies like Shrek, I think I might be dating myself, but like Shrek had just come out. 3D animation was big then. But I started doing that. And then I got out of school and started realizing that the jobs for that medium were all on the coasts. So I got to move out west to Cali, or I got to move up to New York. And I was living in Indiana with my family, so that wasn't really an option at the time. So anyways, fast forward from there, I started getting into business and manufacturing and all that stuff. But that care was still there. So through my job, I was always like a manager or something in charge of something. So I always had to set up processes, and I would, kind of record my own work instructions and all that kind of jazz. And I never really let go. And then fast forward again to like 2019-ish, and I was really kind of playing with audiobooks. That's when I did my first audiobook, like part-time. And I really loved it. Like I never even knew it was an option.
Right.
And I started just getting into that because I was still messing around with like just making little videos and stuff and just having fun with it. And I didn't even know that was an option. And then when the pandemic hit, I kind of was already doing a little part-time and just started getting more serious about it because I saw the like detrimental effects on a lot of the workforces. Like especially at the time I was working in retail as a manager for a big home improvement store. And we deal with, a lot of money, a lot of people, and then this pandemic hits and it's like, everybody gets 2 weeks off and like I still got to go into work. And we live in Florida, so like they didn't have any restrictions.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
So I'm in here, everybody else gets like 2 weeks off and I'm still having to work. I'm like, hey man, like what's going on here? So I decided to kind of go full time with the audiobook thing. And it still took me a couple years. I actually didn't go full time until 2023. And I really took a lot to make that decision. I wasn't struggling or anything. Like I had a really good job, and that makes it really hard to go, hey, I'm going to change careers and try this new thing that I really love and have always loved, but like I just couldn't tell you guys because it sounds like it doesn't make sense to any of you. And so that happens. Like when you tell your family, if you want to do this and you're passionate about it, I would say go for it, but do it intelligently. Plan it out.
Yes.
Make sure you have some savings. Make sure you've got some jobs lined up because at least from my perspective, the amount of support that you're going to get is not very high. So you have to kind of make it a good argument per se. So that's kind of what I did, because you can't just have a job where you're making decent money and then go, hey, I'm switching careers. It doesn't, a lot of people don't appreciate that, but it was a good choice. I really enjoyed it. And to get to do something that you love, I've always loved the arts. I've always loved acting and doing voices like for my kids and stuff like that. And I just love like reading stories and telling stories. So I really love that. And I come from like a long line of storytellers, like especially from both sides of my family. My father's side, they're all Mexican and they can tell a story out of nothing. And my mother's side, they're white, but they can tell stories like campfire stories. And so growing up, I had, a lot of different influences in my life that everything was a story, especially from the Hispanic side. Like going down to the store and coming back is like a 20-minute story. So you really find the in-depth of how to tell a good story. And I just needed to find a event for my storytelling. And this is a great way to do it, I think.
Yeah, they don't tell us when we're in high school. Things you can do when you get older from a career perspective. You can read books and, make a living kind of thing. Kind of wish they did. No, they never told us any. Well, it's the same thing with like editing books and the sound engineer, things like that. We always think of those arts more for like movies, script writing and sound engineering and things like that. But I'm like, man, if I could do it all over again.
Right.
Do the
and
photography.
I only got into the art part and animation because at the time, like Photoshop and 3D Studio Max was just starting to be big. And I wasn't really a good high school student. So I was kind of like the class clown and I didn't do real hot. Like I wasn't at the top of the class or whatever. But so it was kind of like one of those things where like, what am I going to do? I guess I'll go to art school. That kind of makes sense, And had I known then, I would have paid more attention because as soon as I got out, I went into business and you kind of have to know math and all that kind of stuff. So would have been nice if I'd set myself up sooner, but
I still have not used the quadratic equation, however, okay? All right. Or the Pythagorean theorem either, okay? So there's basic level stuff. I know that just came out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, I remember that one. I remember the name. I don't remember exactly what it does. So there's that. And I was an AP student. So I wish that they would teach us like, what, home ec, but the actual like good kind of like people need to learn how to sew a hem or a t-shirt or a button and also how to change your oil in the car or a tire. Those things are no longer done. They weren't really done when I was in high school and I graduated in 99. And so I'm a firm believer that not everybody needs to do a 4-year university. I want someone to fix my AC. And do the job right. So I'm all for tech school. And a lot of the stuff nowadays, even business management is one of those where the legality and stuff, but a lot of the stuff you can just learn, 2-year stuff, but and all the stuff going on. But it's really important. Again, I really wish I would have known. I've done photography and doing book cover models, stuff like
right.
that.
It would have been great. Yeah. And like with business, when you get out, the business aspect is a lot of companies have it built in or they will send you someplace to learn it. Because when you get up to a certain level of management, there's just different kind of numbers, you're not dealing with, $1,000 a week or whatever. If you're in charge of like a $52 million store, you got to learn inventory turns. You got to learn to, do refunds, do quality control, all that kind of stuff, handle customer complaints. I did a lot of customer service stuff. And, especially like whenever 2020 was happening, you get to see like, at least in my business, I saw a lot of like the ugly side of people. It was kind of unfortunate, but people are always going to be people. So you just kind of have to thicken your skin and you learn how to deal with it. Working in quality control, I've got a pretty thick skin anyway, which makes it kind of nice now. Like if you get bad reviews, I don't read any reviews now. I wait for like authors to send me good ones and I'm like, oh, thank you.
You need a friend that
Yeah.
can tell you, hey, listen, so there's been a few reviews that keep saying this, and this. We
Right.
may need to polish that. I advocate. I'm like, you guys should read your reviews, but not you yourself. Like, have someone for it that can give you a filter. Yeah. Because sometimes they can be bad, but I also am of the belief that reviews are like opinions, and like assholes, we all have one. So what one person likes, the other may not. And so versus he keeps mispronouncing that word, or there was a lack of performance, which just means coaching. Same thing with authors. Like, check your reviews, just have someone else do it for you.
Yeah, I'm sure. And some of them can be good. I've seen some constructive ones that just in general that have been good. I had one time about, it was a book. I think it was an age gap book. And the review was a 1 star. And I was just super bummed. I was like, oh my God. And then I read the review and it was like, and this girl was underage. I was like, no. Like, clearly you didn't read the book even. Like, you don't understand what this genre is about. It says right off the bat, everyone's of age. And, and at that point, it's just kind of like, look, man, who's writing this thing? This genre is not for you. Go read the newspaper or whatever.
Yeah, that happens too sometimes where we see the reviews and we're like, is it about the genre? Just there's 1,000 other ones.
Or did you not like it?
Yeah, and that's fine. I always, when I do my reviews, it could be that it's just not my cup of tea, but I do try to hang out and be like, well, there was character development, or the narrators did do a really good job of performing, and so I'm really hoping that kind of review starts coming back into it versus it sucked.
Yeah, make them constructive. If you're going to write one, make it constructive.
Exactly. So with you having that creativeness already in you from years ago, how does that now translate into performing onto a mic all by yourself with multiple voices in your head that you have to showcase?
So I've done some plays in the past, and I really enjoy like theater and performing on stage. But like I think that audiobooks are harder in a way, not from the memorization, because when you're doing it on stage, you got to have all your lines memorize, everyone else's usually, because there's keys and entry notes that you got to enter from stage left and all that. But with audiobooks, you're performing in a way that no one can see you. So there's no face acting. There's no like, I raised my hand here. Like, you have to hear me smile in the verbiage of me smiling. And that's a very tricky thing. It's hard to, at least it was difficult for me to kind of make that carry over into this medium. But once you get that, I think it makes it a lot easier. Then it's just practicing and repetition and everything. And I have also in my booth, I stand up a lot when I record. It's hard for me to sit. So like, I'm a very like hands out and like, I'm a very physical actor. So I just have to try to remember to like move my face if I'm smiling, if I'm sad. And the emotional parts are kind of, they're not so hard, I guess. Like if I have to do something sad, then it's just kind of like, it's not as, I mean, it is difficult, but then I find myself like making myself sad in real life to get the line, which I took this class once. It was about an acting process called rasa boxes. And it's like where different emotions are in different boxes. And basically you find a symbol and you associate it with that emotion. So then later on, it's like memory recall. You can kind of recall that emotion. And that one was probably one of the best ones I've ever taken, because I use that one a lot to like make myself sad now. I think of this thing and I'm like, oh God, why did I? But the downside is like I have kids in school too. So sometimes I'm doing like a sad entry or reading something sad, and then like it's 2:30, so I got to go get them off the bus. And I'm walking out like, I love you.
They're like, Dad is recording again.
Yeah. In his padded room again.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to that, sadly.
I'm super crazy.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where conversations with you guys in those that are a bit more animated in conversation. Like I do talk a lot with my hands. And so years ago, I make sure that the bracelets don't make the noise or the shirts don't have that stick, kind of, because the mic picks it up all.
Oh yeah.
So I can only imagine you doing the same thing with your.
For sure. Yeah. I actually record, like I can't have a belt on. I made the mistake of getting a leather chair when I do sit down. So like that's got to go. Got to get a cloth chair, no belt. And honestly, in my booth, it gets up to like 80, 90 degrees sometimes. So like I'm just in here like with no shirt or anything. No one can see me anyway. So it's just like, get all hot and sweaty. It's not good.
Yeah, no.
Very uncomfortable.
I'm still waiting for the day where they'll create these booths where you can have an AC system of sorts and not sweat your ass off while you're in there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them have ventilation, but it's just not as good as it could be. And I guess if I was less animated, then I wouldn't be like moving as much and creating as much body heat. I don't know if that makes
I mean, up in New York where it's cooler weather during the summers than we do sometimes, they're wearing ice packs. So it's just the fact that it's just a box. It's a box basically.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
smart.
produce
I'm gonna have to
heat.
try that.
Oh yeah, you see them. Their photos are hilarious. They start like one-upping each other a bit too, where they have the shoulder ones, and then the one there, someone tied it around their head. I mean, it's like one of those like you're a narrator when the ice packs come out, or it's summertime, and I'm going, oh God, you guys. And then they're like, yeah, this book was sexy.
See, you can't see it, so you'll never know.
You never know. Yeah. But the things that you guys do have to put up with when it comes down to performing and being able to relay the message, because you can't. And you're right. In theater, we're seeing you guys maybe give that attitude with the head or that eyebrow raising and stuff like that. And he yells, and that's the tagline. You can't really yell because then, ouchie, my ears hurt. Right. So how do you relay that and still convey the message is really important. How are you finding anything a little bit more difficult or like way more fun that you thought with regards to audiobooks?
I love all of it. Like it's super fun. I like to work with indie authors because I have a lot of freedom. Like sometimes when you work with a publisher, I don't even get to talk to the author because I have to go through their producer, and it's not bad. I mean, they're doing it for a reason because everybody on the team has to be involved. Everybody's got to know every piece of communication. And sometimes you may have a real introverted author and they're not on board for like DMing you all the time about questions. But like with indie authors, I've had a lot of fun because I like to make like little skits on Instagram and like help promote. And I did one a couple years ago called Dang by an author named R.D. Smith. And it was all like, it was a humorous redneck murder mystery. And that's his title, not mine. It was hilarious. And but I got to like play guitar and like dress all hillbilly, and it was fun. But you usually get more freedom when you're dealing just with an indie author. But I like the marketing part of it too. Like the narration part to me is fun. I love the performance aspect, but it's also very isolating because I'm in this like 3x3 booth by myself, and no one gets to hear it until months later when it's done and out. But when I'm with an indie author, I can kind of do little bits and put it online and get people excited about it. At least they know what's coming, you know. Like with publishers, usually you've got an NDA. You can't really talk about it until they release it, and then, which is fine too. But it's a little more involved with indie authors. But I love the performance and I love helping market. That's fun.
So for those that may not know the different processes with the traditionally published houses and productions, like he said, there is a team, and usually they've already done all the legwork with the author as far as accents and things like that. But sometimes it happens where it does not. You guys do, as from a traditionally public or production house, they may not get some of that information. Come to find out in chapter 40, he has a Russian accent, and you're going, fuck.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But on the indie side, you have a little bit more hands-on from the author. But that's also why sometimes with producers, we're like, no, we got it, because sometimes the authors can get very detailed oriented, and will ask you to redo something 50,000 times and you're not getting paid for it. Or it was fine the first time. They're just being overly selective because that's their little baby and they're very protective, and we get it. So as producers, we try to be a little bit more of that protective barrier between everybody and make sure no feelings are hurt. But yeah, it's still, I love the indie space too, because they're so passionate about it and a little bit more hands-on. But there's some insight as to what those backgrounds, because we do hear it sometimes with the lives or stuff like, oh yeah, the production houses don't let us talk to the authors. And I'm going, well, wait, there's a reason for that. Some, they're very good reasons for it. I mean, we got stories.
Right.
Why that's so good sometimes. On both sides of the fence, not just the author, because some of the narrators, damn.
And I appreciate all those. I mean, I know, I love being parts of those teams, and there is a buffer between the author and the narrator sometimes. Like you said, there may be different personalities or maybe vision. But yeah, I really appreciate all those things. I appreciate also when you're dealing with like a big publisher. One of the big houses will have like, usually you get like a prepped manuscript. They have a marketing campaign ready to go. If there's anything extra, you're just kind of told, do this or do that, and then I've been with some too, where you just get the book and they're like, this is due on this date.
You're like, any other info? Yeah, I mean, it's not something when people are like, whoa, I've been told to have a sexy voice. I can be a narrator. And you're going, listen, there's a lot more to it than that. And it's not like a 9 to 5 or corporate 500, like where I used to work, to where we had manuals on how to do things. And we had a week or two of training. Then there was shadowing. No, you just fire straight into the flames. And you have to figure it out as you go, if you're lucky.
Work instruction, you get some training, there's a sign off.
Not so much here in this world of audiobooks.
No, take a lot of classes of training. Follow a lot of other narrators and authors online. Some of my advice for anybody who wants to be a narrator out there.
Yeah, there's more to it than just a sexy voice. This performance aspect of it. You have been doing a lot more romance lately too. So what is it about working in the romance genre that you love most?
It's the sexy voice.
That's a lot to carry all the time, though.
I like romance stories, and I like seeing across the different genres, because there are some that are, of course, there's different tropes within romance, but it's a lot of the tropes are things that people aren't doing in real life, so it's interesting to me to hear people talk like in the real world about romance, and then like when you get one of these scripts, you're like, oh, okay, well, this is quite more explicit than what they were telling me this book was about. But no, I enjoy it. I like romance, and I like just the love story aspect of it. So that's across different spice levels. Obviously, if you're like at a 5 pepper spice, there's not as much love story, I would say, as like the little lower, maybe with some closed door scenes. Like I did one recently. It was Messengers of Magic. It was a love story, like a historical romance. And I really enjoyed that because there was a lot of story and plot, and the characters kind of battle to be with each other. And in some that's getting closer to like erotica, like you're just opening scene, it's like, and I had to have her. I just like, all right, we're doing this time. Okay.
Yeah. The range can be so like across as to what you're getting with romance, and only with recent years, well, the increase in narrators into it because of the pandemic, as well, with people not going to work, create a lot of listeners and readers. And so they're just finding out now that they enjoy reading, and they're like, oh my God, there's this thing, and they're learning. And I'm going here like, where have you been? I've been doing this for 30 plus years, but I've seen it over the years, how things have changed, where very rarely did we have that chapter 1 I had to have her kind of thing. Before it was one of those like, God, he's annoying kind of thing. And, or they were friends to lovers. And these tropes were always around, but we didn't really discuss it because I feel like, in my 2 cents and unpopular opinion, and I don't really care, tropes were like spoilers. I'm like, I want to know and find out that she gets pregnant. Not that, that you're telling me in advance, for fuck's sakes. Or that they have to share a bed or first proximity or whatever kind of thing. I'm like, those are spoilers. But anyways, the recent conversation has been in the differentiating between what is romance or erotic romance versus erotica. And there's a lot of big differences, but it's just been interesting with, the spice levels. I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing. My level of spice and your level of spice is different. And then in our cases, we're Latin, so our levels of spice is significantly higher.
Like I told you earlier, I have no safe word. So,
yeah.
and some of the stuff I've narrated recently has been,
yeah,
it's up there.
Yeah. I swear, I feel like the authors are going, hold my beer.
Right.
Level up, round 2, fight kind of thing. And you're going, damn, someone got very creative. Okay.
And we all express our creativity in different ways. So
yes, exactly. I am all about it. As long as everybody's consensual and of age, I don't care. So yeah, romance is definitely about that relationship aspect of things and human nature. I think is the other thing too that we can like relate. And the other thing too is the discovery of something that you may not have known that you wanted to do. I didn't know I wanted to go to France, and it's never been on my list except until I read a book that had a whole description of France, this, and the heroine was so enamored with the city. I'm going, okay, fine, I'll add it to the list.
right.
Yeah. Have you found anything like that regarding the world building? You're going, oh, I'll go bake a cake.
Yeah, actually, that same book I was telling you about takes place in Scotland in a Scottish bookstore. That's something I had never thought about. Like, I want to, go over and vacation and stuff. But after I had read the book initially, I'm like, oh, well, I should open a bookstore in Scotland. Like, this sounds amazing to me. This is my future. I can see it.
Yeah. It's all of a sudden you have a completely different career. It can be done. They did it. It's so nice.
Right.
So you start doing inventory because they don't talk about that side of things in the books,
Chapters. I organize them alphabetically.
The cat that just keeps walking into the store and not understanding why. You've been doing this for a few years now. Is there an author that you're like dying to work with or looking like, ooh, I cannot wait?
I don't know about a specific author per se. I kind of I look more at like the genre. Like I like romance. I like historical fiction and historical fantasy. A specific author, I'm not really sure that I have.
There's just so many of them, right? Though
so many good ones. Like I don't know that I would just pick one. Like there's a lot, but a lot of the authors that a lot of the larger authors will work with like big houses and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know
okay. that. Well, you brought up the good side too of the genres. Is there a genre that you have yet to narrate that you want to narrate in?
Yeah, I'm kind of a nerd. I like to do like nonfiction, which I know that like that's probably not a real popular book genre, but like I kind of like to I see it as like twofold. Like I get to learn as I'm reading because I'll learn something too when I do nonfiction books. But that's one I don't get a lot of. But I am happy doing what I do. It's not that I would trade one for the other, and those also you can kind of do a little quicker too. Like with romance and anything fiction, there's character building and voice selection, and it's more of a performance thing. Whereas nonfiction, it's kind of like you still have to bring to the story, but your story is pretty technically laid out. You're basically describing the author's knowledge to the reader. The onus on you is basically to tell that in an entertaining way that doesn't lose the reader. Whereas in fiction, you have a little more freedom to kind of help build the world a little bit. So
there's times too where I'm like, oh, I wish I could read that self-help book. Or there was one story that I was looking more into it regarding some crystals and things like that. I just didn't have the time. I'm going, is it an audio?
A lot. And there's a
Yeah.
lot by, I don't know if you know the publisher Llewellyn. They do a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. And they've got a lot of books that, like, I've looked at their catalog and it's like, why isn't this an audio? Like this would be good. So things like that.
Yeah, I think that they're starting to looking into that because life is just so busy, and wanting to learn something new or just even just that sometimes that background noise. I sometimes want to have that lull a little bit, that consistency, versus when I was listening to audiobooks and I'm in the middle of Cubicle World at Disney in one of our offices, and then you're like typing and you're doing the Excel spreadsheet, and then you just stop because it got interesting as far as they're in a fight, the bantering. Oh, damn, she said that. Oh, fuck, he said that. Or my favorite, when you start laughing out of nowhere and you're alone.
Right.
You're like, what's so funny? Nothing funny.
It's me in my car. Like, I'll be driving, I'm at a stoplight and I could just laughing or something because I'm to an audiobook, and I look in the next lane and they're like, someone's staring at me like, are you okay?
Yeah. At least now with in public, we're like, yeah, we're just on the phone kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, it's one of those.
I use that when they catch me talking to myself too.
Yeah.
What? They'll touch my ear. What?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear you. What was that? Okay, yeah. Pause. Just like your favorite audiobook, it's time for a brief intermission.
Look, it's tough to stand out in the indie space.
Make sure your audiobooks grab listeners' attention.
Adler Audios specializes in duet and multicast recordings. Go above and beyond with an immersive audiobook experience.
Oh, can we get some epic music real quick? Yeah, there we go.
Your listeners will hear the beat of the dragon's wings.
Or the creepy crawly things that go bump in the night.
You wrote the story. Now let Adler give you a voice.
For more information how Adler Audios can bring your stories to life, visit their website, adleraudios.com. And we're turning the page back to the episode. To enjoy the full uninterrupted version, check out our Patreon at www.patreon.com/audiobooklovin. Well, I'm going to go into a little side segment here where we get to know you a little bit better. We're going to get a little bit more personal. So if you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
When you're not working, what do you do for fun?
Well, I live in Florida, and
Don't hold that against us.
Hold that against us. Beautiful place that we love where there's never really a winter. So, and the beach is 30 minutes from my house, so it's fine. I live on a 23-acre farm, so I always have something kind of to do. But I also love going on like hikes and camping. And like I said, I live close to the beach, so I'm always there. Like, I post a lot from the beach also. I really enjoy that. That's kind of my meditative place. But I really like that. And I like just hanging out with my kids and my family as well. Really enjoying that.
Yeah, those videos were at the beach. I'm going, oh, the sound of the waves crashing. I needed that for 2 seconds.
It's in October too, so it's like, still be outside.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, like, I don't go out between like after 11 a.m. the moment it hits August. And June, I think we stopped going out after 2 or 3 or something like that because it's hot here. So hot. Yeah, but like I said, don't hold it against us. There's some good stuff where we live.
Sunscreen, get a tent or a canopy.
Yeah, for those outdoor moments. What is a song that when it comes on, it does not matter where you're at, so grocery store or in the car, that when it comes on, you have to sing along to?
Oh, that's a good question. There's so many. I like all different kinds of music. Oh, there's so many. Recently, I've been hearing a lot of those K-pop Demon Hunter songs.
Yeah.
And I kind of know the words to those too. So, but it's not my fault. I have young nieces and nephews that watch it all the time. So,
sure.
My little soda. All right.
I get to blame Molly Breyer. Because I think the conversations like with the kids and stuff, but my kids are older, and same thing with the nieces and nephews, but they still love anime and stuff like that. But Molly was like, oh my God, you have to listen to Golden. Like, what are we talking about? She's like, you haven't watched? I go, no, Molly, I haven't watched it. Why? Because again, it's animation. There's very limited ones that I'm going to watch. Though I've gotten a lot more into it in recent years. She's like, just go watch it. And then Shiloh was like, girl. I'm like, what? I got ganged up on. So it's like, fine. I watched it and I'm going, now I understand why they love it so much. I was like, use the songs on reels and stuff now. So they have some good songs.
Seeing it everywhere on socials now.
Oh yeah. That was a good show, guys. If you did not watch that show, and it's on Netflix, still is, I think definitely it's worth it, regardless of how old you are or if you have kids or not. So there's a lot of good, important messages on it.
Right.
And hoping that the world would one day get to be that way. I'm just going to add that song to the thing. So next time that we see each other, especially at an event, I can just start playing it. And I'm going, yeah, he's going to be like, soda pop. That's the reason behind me asking that question.
So you can play it later.
Mm-hmm.
There's one I heard this morning that was, I think I sent it to you as a meme actually, whereas there's a Mexican guy trying to request a song.
Oh yeah.
No, the one with Reeboks and Nikes. He goes, Reeboks and Nikes. And then he plays Rhythm of the Night. And it's,
yeah, guys, it's definitely one of those things when you're bilingual and you have the cultural, but you're also like first generation American. And so you're very much Americanized. And then you have your parents telling you about the thing and they ask the questions and you're going, what are you talking about? Because they're like that. And going, Mom, do you mean this? And they're like, yes, eso. I'm like, okay, mommy, just tell me in Spanish next time. But then again, I'm the one that's like, I remember going like, Mom, how do you say gates in Spanish? So it's like, my brain freezes and I'm going inside the head. I'm hearing it in Spanish and then I'm like saying it in English out. So it's like, oh, great stuff. But yeah, those songs are always good. But my playlist is anything from like Vikings to Celtic music to Celia Cruz to Enya. So it's always a good thing. Like, what song have I not listened to? I mean, I had songs that are way before my time. I'm talking about, Mamas and the Papas. And I'm like, all the leaves are brown. So I know all the words. So.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's no music that I don't listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I love everything. For me, it's more of like a mood thing. So whatever I'm in, I'll put it on.
Yeah.
Be like driving and I got the Bee Gees on, So,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the Papas, like you said.
Yeah. Many times there was Metallica blasting when I was about heading to work into Disney.
Getting ready for the day.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, okay, I'm motivated. Okay, I'm going to work. Favorite word. So what is your favorite word? Not your favorite curse word, because that's the other part of the question.
My favorite word. I would have to say probably familia.
Okay.
I like that word.
Family, yeah.
Family. And, I try to, I don't know, I really like that word. I try to embody it for my kids and like hold it in high regard. We all like take care of each other and everything. So I really like that word. And it sounds good. Spanish and English too.
Family, it's important. What about your favorite curse word?
I think you can't go wrong with fuck.
Yeah.
I say that one, or I say God damn it a lot of times. Like when I say something, I'm like, God damn it. Like just a reaction. So
yeah.
Probably one of those two.
Do you do a lot of cursing like in Spanish when it comes out? Like it's really bad or anything like that?
No. Mostly in English.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have kids, you got to watch it. So I do the thing now where like I don't really say the curse word just because I had to practice for so long when my kids were little. I was like, oh, God. And it doesn't make any sense, but sometimes I find myself doing that. When I'm in the booth, it's kind of like all bets are off. But
oh yeah, with the creativeness of the words and stuff, and in Spanish one those we get multiple words all jumbled into one, and so it becomes a very long curse word, even though there's like a bunch of words there. Mm-hmm. But depending on the length is how pissed you are.
Right. How fast it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. I tried that creative when Cora was younger, to do not cursing, and that was so stressful because baloney was the equivalent of like bullshit. Oh, that's baloney, right? And then I'm going, there's other times I'm like, I don't have enough words. So, and then I heard him going, wait, that's way worse. And where'd you hear that? School? I'm like, okay, fucking name, never mind.
On the bus, Mom.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, fuck. Yeah. Just if you're going to use it, just learn when to use it was my rule, and also know the audience, like in the room, like if they're the younger kids don't and stuff. My kid does not curse in front of me at all. So I'm like, okay, cool beans.
Very clever.
Yes.
Not around mom.
Not around mom. Then I saw a text and going, damn. That's in the right context. You're good there. You're good. That was If you could sit down with your younger self, what's one piece of advice that you would give them?
Man, that's a good question too. I think if I would have to give myself some advice early on, it'd be kind of maybe a little different, but kind of like what I tell my kids now, like, don't worry about money. Do what it is you're trying to do, because you can find income from whatever the job is. But whether you like your job or not is going to make all the difference on whether you go into that job or whether you end up getting depressed or you just hate that job and you never want to go again. So do the thing that you have some passion about, and the money will come. Like when I was younger, there wasn't a lot of money. So that was kind of the thing, it was all manufacturing and business, and get into this and you go work 12 hours at the factory and you're going to make some money. So that was kind of beaten into my head when I was young, like, oh, well, you got to provide for everybody. You got to be the man, provide everything for your family. And while that's all true, you also have to kind of like your job. Like, you can't just pick any job and be like, all right, well, this is what I do now, because some days you're just not going to want to do it. And it's going to lead to, like, things like depression or just sadness or job hopping. You hate this job, so you're going to go to this job, then you're going to go to this job and this job. But yeah, that would be the advice I would say, is just like probably to me specifically, do something artistic. Stay in the arts. Don't jump out and go to business. That's
a conversation I've had with a lot of the younger folks. Just find something that you like to do and see if could be livable wages that can be made. And then that way you can do it, or find something that is close enough to it and then still do the thing that makes you,
right.
Hobbies are there for a reason.
And the extension of that question is like, how much do you need?
Yeah.
How much do you really need? Like, there's jobs that I've had where my bonus is like a lot, and it's, do I need this? And most people will be like, yeah, you do. But also, like, how much do you need to pay your bills, to buy your groceries, give your family a nice life? And it's a lot less than what people think, I think.
Yeah.
Like, everyone, at least for me, like, I always had this idea, like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire someday, and I'm going to have all these millions of dollars and work so hard, it won't be unavoidable. Well, what are you going to do with all sit on it, Like,
yeah, you can't take it anywhere. You would want to do a vacation, but you can't because work schedule.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely.
That I had, like, when you're a manager, you are there for 60 to 70 hours a week. These kids that you're taking care of, I mean, are you really? Because they don't see you ever, and that was a main motivation for me to switch career paths, is like, when they're growing up, for me in particular, I just put my head down and worked, 60 to 70 hours, and you miss a lot of things, you miss ball games, or you miss parent-teacher conferences or something. You have to work Saturday. You're the head of this department, so you have to be there. The buck stops with you. And, do you need to do that? Or what is it that's more important to you? Are you really raising this family the right way? You're providing for them. They have money. They can, like, buy nice shoes or whatever, but, how much does that really take? They would be much happier if you were there throwing a baseball with them, or, throwing
them up in the air.
Yeah.
Catching them too. Not just throwing them up in the air.
Yes. All the time. Be a responsible parent.
Mm-hmm.
Never drop my kids, ever.
Trying to remember that would explain a lot on my end. I think I rolled off the bed one time, freaked the shit out of my mom, from what I remember. You're like, but you weren't walking. I'm like, I wasn't crawling yet. What do you mean I wasn't crawling? Thanks for awesome. I'm like, oh, early developer, yay. What about a life motto or a quote that has stayed with you?
I have a couple. I mean, this really depends on how philosophically deep we want to go here. But um, I mean, the main one would be like just to be kind. One that I think will never steer you wrong. Just be kind to everyone and do your best and make sure that you're doing the best that you can at whatever you're doing. That way you don't have that regret afterwards, like, oh, I could have tried harder. I could have done this. So that's kind of the main one. But yeah, if we're getting really deep, I really like know thyself. That's like a old Stoic quote, but it's like, because to really understand things or to operate really well in this world, I feel like you need to know yourself, know your limits, know what you can do. Again, that all will come back to being kind and expressing love for everyone. But you have to know that about yourself first because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know that you're capable of that, then you just never will be. You'll find yourself arguing with somebody on Twitter for 12 hours a day, and really you're just mad at yourself or something. So
yeah, that is true.
For 12 hours.
God, yeah. Some people just have way too much time on their hands when that happens. I'm like, go outside, learn yourself. Literally, like, why is it still triggering? Like, why? Kindness goes a long way and can be very meaningful for many people that don't have that on a day-to-day basis. So I strive for that.
I have decided I was going to get an attitude and be mean to somebody, it has always come back and bit me in the ass in some way, shape, or form. So if not right then somewhere down the road. So I try to have learned my lesson and just kind of be nice now. Maybe some of that comes with age too, but
yeah, or working for human resources.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah, I was very grateful not sometimes having the conversations not on a video conference call because it's like, yes, that could be fine. The whole sure, you missed your deadline. No problems.
I roll here, I roll
there. I have people now telling me, I don't know if you do the whole like body doubling when you're or when you're recording, going live while you're recording. And I had Shella was like, oh, you should do it. I go, listen, y'all are recording something interesting. And so people are going to sit there and watch it because maybe it's how if you're being animated or the story's really well, or like, oh my God, that accent, I never thought about it that way kind of thing. You would see me doing a lot of the whole like shaking the head, like, what the fuck? And like, no, don't do that. So, not that entertaining from that perspective. So I'm like, no, Shiloh, thank you. I don't think I'll do that, but have you done any live recordings or?
I did actually. I used to do lives on Instagram. I don't do them as much anymore. I do like doing them, but like right now, I think they've put a limit on like followers of how you can do it, and I've fallen below that limit at this time, so
okay,
can't do them now.
I'll have to look into that.
I used to do some on TikTok, and then I got TikTok, so. Yeah, that's a whole story.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, let's run out of time off air. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I read romance, so I'm not appropriate. So.
Oh, yeah. They've gotten creative on how, like, okay, guys, we're going to meet you and then say the lines. Yeah.
I'm glad it happened because, honestly, it was a good lesson for me because it's not something that, at least from a business perspective, you don't want to build that business when it can just be shut off.
Yeah.
For me, as a business person, it makes me look at all the different avenues of revenue and go, hey, well, maybe I shouldn't be dedicating that much time to making a 10-second TikTok or a 30-second streaming if they can just flip the light switch if I do something inappropriate. Because the alternative to that is I end up like self-censoring everything. And I do that a lot. Like we'll be on, I mean, how many times have you seen Unalived or somebody says that? And it's like, that's not what you wanted to say, but we're censoring so that the algorithm doesn't kick us down and nobody reports us and we don't get kicked off of the platform. And it's a soft way to censor what it is that we're trying to say. And really we should take a look at those streams. If you're going to use them as like a revenue stream, just make sure you diversify, get a website, maybe put a YouTube up, get on any platforms as you can, and make sure people can find you in case that switch is shut off someday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the conversation I have with clients and up and coming narrators when they're like so focused on doing their socials. And I'm like, did you not learn your lesson when they were talking about getting rid of TikTok? If you spend all that time there, kind of thing, like what happens if and when they do something like that, or you decide to not do it anymore? How am I going to cast you if I don't have an email address?
Exactly. Get a website, put up some downloadable samples. Like I'm probably on Instagram the most, and I think of it now as kind of like a resume. So now I put up a lot of samples, a lot of work that I've done. I shy away a little bit from the creative aspect because it isn't really about, like, I want to show my creativity, but I really want to show like the finished product. So for somebody who's wanting to cast me for something, I want you to hear what it is that's going to sound like. And obviously I have more fun making those little skits, but if you're hearing me make some silly voice, it's not necessarily what you are going to want for your project. So I want to hear like the resume portion of it,
Yeah, that's true. The videos have been good. I've seen you do some with Molly Breyer that are always fun. And like, I think one time she's like, he dressed up for art. I'm like, getting in the role.
Yeah, I was getting into character. I showed up in a suit time for that.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a like a Russian mobster.
Mafia.
So I'm like, yeah.
That's what they all dress like.
Yeah, she's great. She's so much
I
fun.
love her. Yeah, she's great. Yeah. She did that video where I think, was it in reference to the sultry listeners and stuff like that? She's like, I was going to do a video, and then he did his, and I just have no follow-up. So just going to.
Yep. For sultry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think maybe by the time this comes out, it'll be over, but go check it out. Everybody follow them for next year so you can get your books and your favorite narrators on there. Yeah, sultry listeners.
Yeah, the sultry listeners are closing today. So yeah, by the time this airs, it'll be done, and maybe then winners will be announced depending on what's going on.
Exciting.
Yeah, I do love it. I'm hoping to plan things out a little bit better and figuring out the time for it and all that fun stuff. But the sultry listeners is a good thing for the community. It's for those that are listening and going, what the fuck is she talking about? It's an awards, but it's done by the nominations happen through the listeners. Instead of having to pay to be submitted, the listeners are like, oh yeah, Hector's fantastic, we're going to nominate him, or the book that he's narrated. It's so because there's different categories. And then the listeners are also the ones that do the voting. So I just manage it. That's all I do, and create nice graphics for it. That's about it.
Good. And, thank you. Like, I really appreciate it as a narrator. Mm-hmm. And I think all of us appreciate it. I mean, anything that's going to, elevate the craft and get people noticed and recognized for the good work that they do, that's all appreciated. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's definitely something to kind of, even when I was going through the entries to figure out that they were in the right category or not and see if they're still eligible, I'm like, hey, I didn't know about that book. Crap, I'm putting it on my TBR. So mutual benefits there. So
add one more to the TBR.
Never ending. All right, so I gave you guys homework, and one of the stuff is for a segment called Two Truths and a Lie, where you tell me 3 things about yourself, and we have to figure out which one's the lie. And I say we because I'm really hoping the audience plays along as we're listening. So whenever you're ready to tell us your 3 things, and then we'll try to figure out which one's the lie.
Okay, so 2 truths and a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see me now. We have a video going, so this is going to be more difficult than I thought. Got to get my poker face on here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The first one is I used to be a president of a tournament fishing league. That's the first one. The second one is I am an ordained minister. And the third one is that I used to ride bulls for competition. Ready, go. You weren't looking at me. How did you know if I was lying or not?
Oh, I am really good at this. Because it's almost like a bit of the science and the geekiness, and this is also where I wanted to be a psychologist when I was younger. And then went, no. Yeah. Because it's on the details, right? So you used to be the president of a fishing, of a tournament for fishing. It could be that you were in that, but not the president. You could have been the secretary, right? So those are those little things. It could have been that you're an ordained minister. That could be very much. So am I, by the way, if that's the truth. And then used to ride the bulls and for competitions, right? It just could have been for fun. So which one's the lie? These were all really good. You are very outdoorsy. But I can also see the whole ordained minister thing for that friend that got married. Because we all have one, right? That's usually why most of us will get that in one way or the other. So I want to say that you were the president of the fishing tournaments is a lie.
Nope, that one was true.
Oh, the president. Okay, cool.
I was president of the Catfishing Association.
Nice. Okay. You're very likely to run the bull thing, though. So which one's the lie? Okay. Is the bull one the lie?
Yep, that's the lie.
That's the lie. Okay.
I have ridden bulls, but just not in competition.
Okay. See, for fun.
Dirty farm fun type of thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Don't do it, by the way. It's very dangerous.
Yes. Done by a professional.
It was young and dumb. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. Age and wisdom, right?
Age and wisdom and sprained ankles and all that good stuff. When you get hurt a couple times, you're like, hey, this isn't a good idea. Maybe I won't do this anymore.
No, yeah. Okay.
That's
so
cool.
You are yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen enough movies to know that, yeah, I would be like, it's quite all right. You sit right there. Kind of thing. I'm like, you look cute right over there. I am writing you. But that's cool. But you would be one. That's why I was going for competition was probably the lie, but at the same time, yeah, all fun times. Ordained minister, huh? Was it for a friend's wedding?
Ordained minister. Yes, it was.
See?
I do not live by the cloth.
Yeah, I know. I do hand fasting, so legally, it helps that out from that perspective. So
you're legally able now.
I'm legally able to. Yes, all love is love, right? You guys want to get into that sacred craziness of a marriage? Fine.
Warn them. Pre-ceremony. Listen.
Yeah, you sure? They get smacked. I'm like, what? What?
Forever.
I mean, sooner or later they're going to start snoring. You got to figure out what you're going to do when that happens. All right, at least have a plan. And a pillow over the head, I've been told, is not a good thing. So, yeah. But that was a good one. You got 3 good ideas there. Very much things, and we get to know you better. So that's always good. The next thing you want to know, because you're a first-time guest, so we have a Patreon, and then part of the Patreon segment is a bunch of questions where I make you choose between 2 things of would you rather. And one of the questions is, would you rather tell everyone your guilty pleasures or never partake in those guilty pleasures ever again? Most of you all have busted out with, oh, I tell everybody. And then it becomes the follow-up, okay, well, the next time that you're on the show, we'll talk about those. How much you're really to tell, right? But I never really followed up on that. And so I was like, no, you know what? I think we're going to start talking about it and normalizing that guilty pleasures are not a bad thing. And that not necessarily everything has to be done in the, bedroom or washing machine or wherever you guys want to do it with regards to the guilty pleasures. Some of them could just be eating cereal for dinner. So what is that one guilty pleasure or a few of them that you want to share with us?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the cereal. I actually quit this year eating sugar. It was very difficult. Like, cause it was hard. But so now, like, when I do get something sweet, I like hide in my kitchen like Gollum. And it's like, My kids in the room. And that's a hard one.
That is a hard one to kick. I tried it. I did was it not Splenda, the other one? Forgot which one it was, but yeah, it's hard.
It's very difficult. But I guess for another one, because I got a couple here, depending on how guilty we want to go, another one that I have is I don't watch a lot of television either. The things I like, nobody in my house likes, so it just kind of limits my time. I like documentaries and stuff like that. But I will watch reality TV vicariously through my kids. And I'm like, oh, this is dumb. I don't like it. But then I've seen every episode of Below Deck Med, Below Deck Down Under. I'm watching Bluey. Which I actually like, by the way. I strive to be like that dad on that show. He's he yes ands everything. The kids are like, hey, play drums with us. He's like, all right. He just grabs them and starts playing drums. That's fun. But yeah, reality stuff is probably one that I'm like, whatever, that's dumb. But then I'm grab popcorn and I sit down. And I'm like, oh my God, is Joe going to make it on Love is Blind? I hate that guy.
No, not him. The other dude. Not him.
Such a dick. God.
All right. See, those are not bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I watch fight videos on Instagram, but the only ones with funny commentary. Because otherwise those are pretty bad. But I like watching them where a Mexican guy's screaming, doing voiceover to it, and I understand what he's saying because he's talking so fast. I'll send you one after this. It's pretty fun.
Okay, yeah. Well, those could be fun too. And it's interesting you said that they speak so fast. A lot of times there's that misconception of being Latino and being completely bilingual and having and understanding everything without realizing that some people are Latinos, but they don't speak Spanish, or they don't speak it very well or fluently because of how the upbringing was and things like that. So it's always an interesting conversation when I'm having it with others and they're going, yeah, no, I don't speak it. I'm going, well, I speak it rather interestingly.
Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't even make sense in Spanish. So
that is true.
For people even if you are fully bilingual and somebody just starts going crazy, sometimes that's the intention. They don't want you to understand. It's I don't know. Okay, dude.
But the dialects are so different too, that one word means bicho can mean a bug, or it can mean a vagina or a penis, depending on which one you're at. Or the straw, it could be, it's a straw, and they're going, yeah, no, not where I'm from. I'm going, oh, my bad. So depending on the word, I'm like, where are y'all from first? Okay, Colombian, okay, what's the word for this?
Geographical context.
Yes, geographical one. It's always fun. Goodness gracious, we can probably continue to talk about all sorts of things, but before we go, why don't you tell us what you're currently working on that you can tell and what's coming up next for you?
I have actually, let me see if I can pull up my little list here. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, actually.
I love when they do the homework.
So I'm actually doing a book right now for Rebecca Sinclair called That Time I Accidentally Became a Serial Killer. So I had to do it. The way it was pitched to me was Legally Blonde meets Dexter.
Oh.
I'm in. I got just that log line gets me. But that's a really fun one. I'm recording that one now, so it should be out in February-ish timeframe, I think. Then coming up in December, I have one. It's for a publisher, so I can't really talk about it, but it's book one in a series, harem series. So get to be a little naughty on that one. And then into January, I'm doing another romance book. It's a dark romance for Veronica Lancet. I'm sorry. She's also, that will be with Molly Breyer as well, produced through Adler Audio, Molly's company. So that's going to be fun. And let's see, into January, February, I get to do another assassin book, which that's going to be fun. To speak con un accente español, por favor. And And then in February, I'm doing a second book in the Privatized Freedom series for an author named Reese Constance. And the first book was Privatized Freedom. It's like a fantasy book, or not fantasy. It's like future sci-fi kind of a book. It's set in the future of Earth, and there's robots and evil corporations. But I love the world that he built, because it's like he has a amazing sense of humor. It's so fun to perform. Like one of my favorite scenes from the last book I did for him, from Privatized Freedom, was there's a scene where they're in his world, all the appliances have now been downloaded with AI. So like your microwave and your blender can argue with each other. So like they go on strike and you can't use them, but that's just part of the story. Well, there's a scene where they're looking for someone, and it's also like a singles appliances mixer. So like all these different appliances are trying to get together, and like one line that got me is like, there was a microwave warming nothing in the corner by himself. Warming nothing.
Why don't you come over here and we see what we can blend together?
But it's just so creative, and I love his sense of humor and the way he writes. But also, like, I love getting second books from authors. So I really love that, because, we've worked together, and that means I like your stories. You've liked performances I've done for you. It makes me really happy. And especially when they're really well-written stories like that. And it's really, really amazing and really fun.
Yeah. When you were telling me about that at the beginning, about right now describing, I'm going, wait a minute, aren't we currently there where we have, how futuristic is this? And then you're like, oh, they talk. Okay, there you go. There's difference.
Because it seems very likely. Like the world that he's built, you can see, be like, oh yeah, give us a couple 100 years, like we're there.
Yeah. Well, then again, remember we grew up watching the Jetsons and the flying cars kind of thing. Like, we still don't have that. So, and I'm like, hey, we should have had that by now at this point in 2025.
Right. They're coming, I'm sure.
I'm sure, but then I'm also like, this is how they drive on the road. I don't think I want them in the air.
Yeah, might be a little dangerous.
Just a tad. Yeah, just a tad. Between the falling iguanas during winter here in Florida, and the Florida drivers, and then not in the air. No, thank you.
Regional hazard. You got to watch out for those.
Yeah. Look that up, folks. If you're going, what do you mean dropping iguanas in winter? Yeah, just look it up. It'll be fun things. Little things you learn when you're listening to the podcast. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me and being my guest. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. This is a lot of fun. We need to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I love talking to you guys later in a couple months or years and be like, oh my God, remember when we said the thing and now you did the thing? It's always some fun stuff. If you're not already following him today, don't worry. I'll provide you with all the links. You'll find that over in the episode's post at Viviana Enchantress of Books. And until next time, happy listening.
Thank you to all of our Audiobook Lovin Podcast Patreon. The Audiobook Lovin Podcast has special Patreon access levels. Join today to receive benefits including early access to episodes, shout-outs, special exclusive content, and much more. Support the podcast by becoming a Patreon at www.patreon.com/audiobookloving. We thank you for your support.
Thank you for joining us on the Audiobook Lovin Podcast, hosted by Viviana, Enchantress of Books. For links and more information discussed in today's episode, previous podcasts, or the Audiobook Lovin Series, please visit our website, vivianaenchantressofbooks.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a positive review wherever you listen to our podcast. Until next time, happy listening.